basically this is the Ram Restaurant Brewery here in Indianapolis. What you see behind me are some fermenters, and what we've got over here on our left is actually part of the brew house. This is actually referred to as what they call a mash tun. This on the top half is where we mix the grains in the water to make what they call wort, spelled W-O-R-T. It's actually it's the color of the beer, it's the sugars that end up becoming alcohol later, and then it's also some flavors and aromas that we'll get in the end product. All come from this grain and water mixture on the top here. From here, we're actually going to go over to the next vessel you see on the left, which is actually our kettle. And our kettle is where we do the boiling, making beer one of the safest beverages that you can drink. We also add our hops in here. Hops, no matter how light the beer is, they provide the balance to the sweetness of the malt. So those first three main ingredients are in play now. This process here, the mashing, creating the wort, and then boiling and adding our hops, generally it'll take about 6 hours or so. From here, we'll actually cool the wort down from its boiling temperature and bring it over to our fermenters that we just saw, and that's where we'll add our yeast. That yeast is actually the fourth main ingredient, and it's what creates the alcohol from the sugars, and it creates some of the CO2 bubbles you get in the end product. What we have up here is our brew deck, where we do all of our controls for the brewing. As I pointed out before, we have our mash tun here. We also have our kettle. All of this is within control of a few switches that we have. Controls different things, whether it's heating sources, whether it's even some lighting inside of these tanks, some pump movement that moves water back and forth. All that happens up here, and then we have basically from there we get end product of beer a few weeks later. So one of our main things that we focus on here at the Ram Restaurant Brewery is freshness. We want to make sure that our beer is the freshest that you're going to get in town. So what we have here is we have our dates. This beer was brewed batch number 1140 for this location. This is the style we have, the porter. This one was brewed on April 3rd. By the time this beer comes around, a good month and a half later, we want it to be gone and we want it to be on to the next one. That way, when you're here, we can guarantee you the freshest product in town. Here at the Ram Restaurant Brewery is quality ingredients. We only use the best ingredients in order to produce the pints that you're going to drink. So if we look down here, we've actually got two of the main ingredients that I previously talked about. We've got on the left, or on your right here, we've got malted grain. This is where we get the sugars, color, aroma, and some flavor from. And on the left, we actually have hops. The hops, as I said, are actually used to provide bitterness to counteract the malt sweetness. Now that we've made our way over, whether it's filtered or whether it's just transferred, we now come to the cold side. This is where aging can happen. This is where we will carbonate the beer. And here at the Ram, because of our space constrictions, we store everything in the serving tanks that we have behind us. These will save us a lot of space compared to kegs, which we'll see in some other places. With these tanks, they go directly to our taps, and those taps allow us to go back to some of the freshest beer in town and serve directly in your pint. Here at the Ram Restaurant Brewery, we're proud to sponsor USA Curling. 50 cents out of every curl that we sell nationwide goes to the sport of curling and its development here in the United States. Don't just stop by for our beer. Be sure to come in for some of our beer-infused signature Ram menu items, such as our Amber Ale cheese dip, our 71 Pale Ale tenderloin, or our baby back ribs made with Big Red IPA. Be sure to come out here June 14th, downtown Ram, Indianapolis, for WTTS 92.3. Their new music sampler is coming out along with their tour and tasting, where we'll also introduce our new Imperial IPA, part of our Ramageddon 2012 Apocalypse beer series. A brewer's job is pretty tough. Can you cut out the back?